All right, good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started with Coach Traylor. JJ, you're up first.
Hey Jeff, is the excitement of the upcoming bowl, is that building this week with you guys?
Um, yeah, I would say that's a fair assessment. Um, Kids are really excited to be there. And had two good padded workouts the last 2 days, so trying to be smart. It's such a fine line because you want to be physical, you want to be tough, you want to do what we've done all year, you want to be ready to play, but at the same time, we've got to get our guys to the game healthy too. So they're excited, probably a little too much, and have to pull them back a little at times.
How would you assess the overall health of your team?
Um, we're much better than we were 5 weeks ago. Um, Still, we got guys, with shoulders and ankles and those kind of things, hands, fingers, but yeah, we're pretty healthy.
Okay, Greg.
Jeff, what have you been able to gather this week, or what have the conversations been like with the players about just what this opportunity means to some of the guys who have been here for a while but haven't had this level of success before?
They're just excited. They've worked awful hard to be here. And I know awards and those kind of things might be it's always a touchy subject because you have some kids that didn't make something that wanted it, and some guys didn't make enough. But I'm just happy that there's a positive spin for our kids. I'm really happy that everybody's pleased with them and everybody recognizes what they've done. To go be playing their 12th game, the success they've had, and get to play a ranked opponent on ABC. And it's just a nice little, icing on the cake to a year that, let's be honest, we could all know we could be 2-9. We could also be 11-0. So our kids have been given a great opportunity to go showcase their talent again. I'm thrilled for them.
You mentioned to us yesterday that when a new coach comes in, there's some guys who are going to buy in right away. There's going to be a large group that's kind of wait and see, and then some that will just be kind of against it. For that wait and see group, that middle group, when did the tide start to turn with them? Was there a specific point when you feel like you started to win them over?
In the summer, with all the things we had to go through, massive cuts, to the budget. I think they could tell that I always had their back. I was going to do whatever I could to raise money to get them to classes, just to make sure they felt nothing. We all felt something because of what we've been through with COVID. But I didn't want anybody to feel something so deeply they couldn't overcome it, whether that might mean graduation, whether that might mean paying your rent, whether that might mean being ready for football. I think just the human side of us, just checking on them every day and making sure they were all taken care of, resonated with them. And they got a great feeling that we were way more about them and their success. That's from walk-ons to our best players. We literally treat every child as if they were our own child. And that's what you'd want done. That's what I'd want done. That's what we'd all want done. So I would, you probably have to ask them that, but I would guess the summer is when they realized that I was in this for the long haul with them.
Was it hard for you to tell kind of how they felt about you and how that was working just because you weren't around them every day? Was it tough to get a sense of the progress you were making?
My position coaches did a really good job of keeping me in the loop. My analysts, our GAs, trainers, academic staff, strength staff. We have a lot of departments that work with our children. And I guess our young men, they get tired of me calling them kids. That shows my age. But I got reports from a lot of people that the buy-in was tremendous. And then the George Floyd situation, social injustice, that was a big step for us as well. And let's just be honest, there hasn't been a lot of good news in 2020. There's been a lot of negative, a lot of adversity. And we just chose to not look at it that way. We chose to look at it as an opportunity. And we've said that a lot this year, I know, but that's really what our kids believe.
And as you've had this success, you've also talked a lot about wanting to build something here in San Antonio that people can rally around and that can resonate with people here. Has it been especially meaningful that you've had so many guys from San Antonio who have been standouts and have now been kind of bringing in these honors this week and have been such a big part of what you're doing?
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it shows that there are a lot of great players in 210. But we've had players, from other areas of the state that have won a lot of honors as well. So I don't want to dare overlook them. We're really excited about going to the Metroplex this weekend. We have a lot of players on our team for the Metroplex. I know Zachary Franklin is going to be really excited. I know Kadri Cobb's going to be really excited because they're getting to go back to their area. But to answer your question, it has been, there's a reason we went hashtag 210 triangle toughness. Those single digits mean a lot to us, and we put a lot of extra emphasis on the 210. And I feel strongly that by the time we get to next year's team, I would hope we're around 35 on our roster. We were at 11 and 25. I hope we can grow that to 35.
And we've talked extensively about how this year has been so different from a normal year, but I'm wondering if from a coach's perspective, do you think it took something different to be a winning team this year, that like different qualities were on display more than they were in normal years, whether it's just being adaptable or being resilient, if there's kind of different things that made up a winning team this year compared to other seasons?
That was a blessing that I got to be a head coach for 15 years, especially at the high school level, because you had to be so flexible all the time. You had to always adapt. You had to always improvise. I think that helped us tremendously. Your players had to be flexible as well, your staff. My DFO, Coach Brown, has been a coordinator, for 5 years. He's coached at the college level for his entire career almost. So him and I making 1 million different practice schedules on a whim. He was very instrumental in all of this. But I can't wait to next year with some normalcy. We can just copy and paste, move on to the next day.
Okay, JJ.
Jeff, have you guys been practicing a little bit later this week? What's that been like?
Yeah, since we found out our opponent so late on Sunday, I didn't want to take the guys out there and just waste their time. That's coaches or players. So we decided to run them, lift them, and just get individual. And I was out there with the strength staff, and I let my coaches stay in and prepare. And then, so that put us behind, right? So I wanted my coaches to have Monday morning as well. So we've been staying on a 2 o'clock schedule all week just because of the late notice of the game. And we also kick off at 2:30 on Saturday. So I just thought that would be good for us. It's allowed us more time. The COVID testing, we've been really backed up on that with our testing. So it's allowed Nick and Dan more time to evaluate all those results. So there have been many factors in why we've done it. So once again, we had to make a different schedule.
Where do you stand with the COVID results? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they indifferent? What can you tell us about it?
I would refer to the old. That's usually Greg that asks that question. Y'all put a change up on me this year. You need to refer to the old stats. Greg, I promise you, Greg knows them right now, probably.
Okay, Greg, you're up.
Yeah, it's good to have JJ take care of that one for me. That's the least fun part of the week. But yeah, I want to ask about, as you look forward, when you have this level of success early in your first year, do you have to sort of guard against high expectations? How do you approach, what's going to come from this with fans probably thinking, more and more and more and expecting big things from you guys in the future?
We won't look at it at all. Our standard is the same every day. We're going to be the very best we can be today. And we're going to win as many days as we possibly can and keep stacking them, which means we're going to try to out-recruit, out-evaluate, out-develop, out-coach. My kids are going to try to outlift, out-train, outwork all of our opponents. And one of my favorite quotes that I got from years ago, pressure is a privilege. The bigger the game, the more pressure. Well, if you focus on that too much, you won't do your best. So just do what we always do. Let's just prepare our very best, go play our very best. And I have enough confidence in me and my staff and our players, our administration, our university, that we will eventually be one of the top teams. And that's what our expectation will be every time we tee it up. And but if you get to focusing on that too much, Greg, that can derail a locker room. There's no doubt. If that becomes the talk and the kids get it back in the locker room, then we don't have a very strong culture, right? If that happens, then we've let the media, we've let fans, we've let them penetrate our locker room, which means our culture is very, very weak. And that's what we will be talking about. As soon as this game's over, Saturday, that'll be our next mantra, is that very topic you're discussing right now.
And then lastly, when you look back at your body of work so far this season, do you see a difference in the performances at home versus on the road? Are there any factors you can point to there?
Yeah, I think like most teams, you just get comfortable in your own environment. It's including me and our staff. We got more comfortable with it. Just how to maneuver from the hotel, in and out of the locker room, just all of it. And I think our kids have great confidence in there. And the one we let get away is still haunting us to this day. We just didn't play very well that day. We didn't play up to our standard. And Army is a really good football team. I'm not dare badmouthing what Jeff did with his team. But that's the one we let get away, in our opinion. But let's don't get too crazy. We were in 9 nail biters. It's never as good as you think. It's never as bad as you think either. So we've got a long ways to go before we get to where we need to get to. There's some roster spots that our players are very well aware of, that we have to be upgraded with depth. We've been dangerously thin all year in certain areas. And it's hurt us at times. So we've got some stuff we got to fix.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thanks. We'll get Spencer in there next.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank y'all. God bless. Birds up.